up, buddy Nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89 of Nerdigans. That get today's manga Nerdigan live reaction video is going to be for Spy Family chapter 110. But before I get into this recap and live reaction, we are at war with YouTube's algorithm, and it is slowly but surely killing my channel. And in order to defeat this algorithmic beast, we need you to please hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And because of course this channel, let alone this video, are not sponsored, and we ain't sponsored by Shueisha, and we ain't sponsored by Manga Plus, and we ain't sponsored by Viz. Considering how much we promote Manga Plus on this channel, it's kind of surprising, right? But if you love what we're doing and want to help keep me, this adorable birthday kitty here, because it is his birthday week, and this operation literally alive and kicking, so we can keep bringing you more anime and manga content, whether it be news, analysis, or live reactions like this one, feel free to hit up our Cash App and PayPal. Links are in the description box below, as well as the link to our Patreon where we are doing our anime live reaction content, because unlike YouTube, where we constantly have to worry about getting a copyright strike for showing anything on the screen, well, Patreon, we don't have to worry about that. So we could have our full setup of the anime and manga side by side and have the audio to boot, which is not only great for busting a botch localization or two, but it's great for when we cover anime original content like, say, Dragon Ball Daima, which we are covering in the sub and the dub. And the more views and subscribers we get on Patreon, the more anime we'll cover. And hell, if you are a $10 patron, you get to choose the series we cover as well. And the Stacked Winter anime season has begun, and not only are we covering Dragon Ball Daima, but we are covering Red Ranger Isekai, and the second seasons of both The 100 Girlfriends and TELEPATH Hanoka-kun, all of them we are covering today. I know it's going to be a very busy day for us. And there's even more on the way, including Spy Family Season 3. So please check out our Patreon. The link is in the description box below. So, well, last chapter of Spy Family, we got into the start of Mama Desmond's therapy session. And yeah, based on what she said, it seems like she has Capgras syndrome, which is basically she believes that Papa Desmond is an alien. I know I shouldn't be laughing at it, but it's very bizarre. But anyways, let's get to this chapter, see what's in store for us today. Here we go. The truth about its objective, or is it? Here we go. I said that my husband is an alien. I see. Is that just a metaphor for someone whose way of thinking she finds it incomprehensible? No, it's not. It's not. What aspects of your husband's behavior led you to that conclusion? Well, yeah, this is definitely Capgras syndrome, which we went into depth about it in last chapter's video, and I even provided a link for it in the description box. No, I really can't do this. If he were to find out about... Please, Mrs. Desmond, relax. This is a private examination. There's no one here who could cause you any harm. That's not true. You have no idea. Madam? Oh, don't worry about her. Dr. Forger is a very sincere and talented clinician. I have no doubt that he'll help lead Mrs. Desmond in a positive direction. Yes, but no, never mind. Maybe it's best to let professionals handle it. Ooh. Okay, so one of the things about Capgras syndrome, in terms of like what causes it, or one of the causes of it, is schizophrenia. So or brain injury too. That was another one. So I gotta wonder if it's one of those two. Also, bipolar is part of it as well, and I may have a lot of side effects of bipolar, but this is not one of them. So I gotta wonder, which one is it? Is it brain injury? Is it PTSD? Because that could be it too. Or is it schizophrenia? We'll have to find out. It sounds like you care... sorry, I fucked this up. Honestly, all of us in our household staff wish we could do more to support her. It sounds like you care for her a great deal. I can't speak to her specific condition, but generally patients need support not just from her doc. Oh my god, I fucked this up. I can't speak to her specific condition, but generally patients need support not just from their doctor, but from those around them, which is very true. They do. I'm a psychiatric nurse, so if you have any concerns you'd like to share, I would be happy to listen. I'm sure there are matters that Mrs. Desmond would find painful to address or speak objectively about. Okay, all right. And again, this is from someone that has multiple mental illnesses. This is, again, very, very, very true. That's right. Exhale slowly through your mouth, just like that. Are you feeling more relaxed now? Mrs. Desmond, I promise you, as a doctor, I will always be an ally to my patients, no matter their circumstances. If hypothetically you are being harmed in some way by your husband, then I urge you to leave that environment immediately. We can find a suitable place for you where you and your sons will be safe. And perhaps this could even lead to criminal charges being filed against him? Yes, it could. Depends. If he could use them to remove him from power, it could spell an end to all his warmongering ambitions. Of course, it's never as simple as that. No, it never is, especially when you're dealing with someone in power like that. There are still plenty of National Unity Party members within the state security service and the Justice Department. Still, if he can plant even a single seed of scandal and may one day bloom into a powerful weapon against him, if Papa Desmond has a lot of power. He does. I don't think this kind of scandal is enough to remove him from power. I don't think it is. It's got to be really serious. It's got to be really, really serious. Like treason or whatnot. I don't think abusing his family is one of them. I don't. I really don't. He hasn't done a thing to me. That man hasn't done a thing to me. Could he be controlling her in such a way as to make her say that or even make her believe that? That is a possibility. That's what I think. I think it's something like that. Even if he hasn't harmed you physically, people can still be hurt by the words or demeanor of others, which is very, very true. Psychological abuse and emotional abuse is very, very real. Now I myself do not know whether he has abused you or not. That said, what is clear to me is that you are presently enduring a great deal of suffering, and it's your effort to fight off that suffering that has brought you here to the hospital today. Yes, I suppose that's true, but coming here now, it's already too late. It's never too late. No, there's no point in fixing a facade. I can't even remember when all of this began. Was it shortly after my first child was born, or was it the second? So, could it be part of postpartum depression? I don't know. Well, let's see. I can't specifically recall, but it was some time ago. Right around then, he became a completely different man. He began pushing everyone around him away, and he barely spoke to anyone at all. Then one day I realized that he hadn't simply changed, but that an extraterrestrial being had assumed his identity. You probably think I just said something completely ridiculous. Of course you do. See, yeah, could this be some manner of delusion misidentification syndrome? Yeah. As I said it, I've been saying this today, and I said it in last chapter's video, is that this is Capra syndrome, which is a type of delusion. But reading through the lines here, reading between the lines, something did change within him, sure. But in terms of in terms of being an alien, not literally being an alien, but like a switch flipped within him that is causing this. That is causing him to change, to be more of a warmonger. But what is it? What caused this? Well, I'm just thinking about that flashback we saw. See, I told you that flashback I said it ages ago. That flashback was going to come back. Remember the flashback with Henderson when we saw him with Papa Desmond, with the younger Papa Desmond? I'm telling you, that's a coming back. But I wonder, no, the war happened when Papa Desmond was young. So he was still in school when it happened. But what happened after their first son was born in terms of war? Hold on a second. Let's go back to that. Let's go back to that flashback for a second and see what he said to Henderson, because I feel like that's very important factor to this. Here's what he said, and this is when in the debate. This is back in chapter 99. Here we go. We will never be free of war. History is clear proof of that. But what if we purged all weapons from the world? Even then, no, because in the end, human beings are simply liars. There's that. And then, we can never know the true intentions of others because we ourselves are hiding our true intentions. Of course, I desire peace as much as anyone, and I know that solving differences with dialogue instead of weapons is ideal, but warring like this is the best we humans are capable of. Even if there were resources left over, even if there were governmental reform or technological innovation, I can't imagine an end to war. But yeah. Now let's look at what let's look at what Mama Desmond said here. I can't remember where all of this began. Was it shortly after my first child was born, or was it the second? I can't specifically recall, but it was some time ago. Right around then, he became a completely different man. He began pushing everyone around him away, and he barely spoke to anyone at all. Then one day, I realized that he hadn't simply changed, but an extraterrestrial being had assumed his identity. I don't think it was. Nah, it's not that. I think he must have been like betrayed or something. That's right, Kitty. I think it has something to do with that. Either that or one of his there could be a betrayal involved. There could be one of his colleagues died. But I feel like what it is more than anything is I feel like it was a double agent situation. I really do. That to me makes the most sense. I could be wrong, where it's not a double agent situation and this is more of like one of his colleagues, one of his good friends or colleagues died, but there was just something that happened. There was something that happened. It's just this. It was just that line. Human beings are simply liars. And that's, let's see, where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Of course, I desire peace as much as anyone, and I know that solving differences with dialogue instead of weapons is ideal. I think something had to happen where there was dialogue being exchanged or something, and there was like either a betrayal or there was the death of a friend, something along those lines. There had to be, and at that time, that's when he closed himself off. Just something like that had to have happened. And I just think about about that light that he saw. Remember back at the dinner, remember he looked at Damien and he saw this light with Damien. And I gotta wonder if he, like, I know he kind of wants to, if I remember correctly, he wants to snuff that light, that hope. I could be wrong about that. Maybe he wants to keep that, maybe he sees him as that shining hope, or either that, or he wants to keep that hope alive. Something like that. I'm very curious what you think about that, because there's a lot that could, there's something going on with this. Something triggered this. Something did. Right, Kitty? But anyways, I'm very curious what you guys think about that. What do you guys think triggered it? You probably think I just said something completely ridiculous. Of course you do. Could this be some manner of delusional misidentification syndrome? But I haven't seen any sign of the brain pathology associated with such conditions. Even the basic cognitive tests she took earlier showed no signs of impaired mental functioning. The real him is gone. I suspect the aliens took him away to some distant planet. You asked me earlier what my basis was for reaching that conclusion. Well, we rarely converse, but something becomes more clear every time we interact, and it scares me. Even my older son has been saying the same thing, that my husband, no, that alien, he can read people's minds. In other words, he's a telepathic. Yeah, Kitty. I don't know about that. He could, I wonder, is this the same kind of experience? Ooh, there's that too. Right, Kitty? That's another thing too, is that if this was sometime after Damien was born, is that he, because remember, Anya went under that experiment as well. And, she became a telepath. I wonder if that's what happened. He went under the same experiment once this experiment was successful with Anya. And with telepaths, you know what happens with telepaths. Like, we've seen it with, like Shin, for example, in Sakamoto Days, that it becomes so overwhelming that, especially when you can't control it, that you shut down. So I wonder if that's what it is. Especially when you learn the truth about who is being real and who is being fake. Because that's probably why he wanted to become a telepath, to see who is being real and who is being fake to his face. Ooh, I see the vision. And again, it all goes back to what Donovan said about people being liars. In other words, he's telepathic, and that's why all your promises of patient confidentiality don't matter. Sooner or later, he will know that I've come here. The belief that one's mind is being read is a common delusion. Little does he know. As is a patient feeling that they are in an impossible situation from which they are powerless to extricate themselves. And yet, I'm scared. I don't know what he is. I know that I have to protect my children, and yet I'm too scared of him. It takes all I have just to protect myself. Whether that man decides to engage with the kids or ignore them completely, I simply have to go along with it. That must be very hard for you. But if I may ask, has your husband ordered you to do so? Does he tell you to do as he says? Mrs. Desmond, even a subtle cognitive bias can easily lead to a communication breakdown between two people. Don't you think it's possible that if you and your husband were to calmly discuss these concerns, it might help to alleviate your fears? Now, it may be easier for you to do so with the help of a neutral third party, in which case, oh, no. If he is a telepath, that is bad. Suggesting that your husband also see a psychiatrist may be one way to do that. Although I can't say I have experience working with extraterrestrials. You could even invite him with you to one of your sessions if you like. You think that I do? That is a bad idea. Only if you're comfortable with it, of course. The health and well-being of you and your children is our top priority. I simply ask you to consider that an honest dialogue with him may reveal that he's been friendly alien all along. My earthly friend. No, no. A friendly alien? Again, this is only a possibility to consider. We will pursue exploring his nature with great care. I wonder, oh, I have to wonder if this is where they're going to start doing the, they're going to investigate the experimentation. And I got to wonder if he does go to a therapy session with Mama Desmond, is this where shit is really going to hit the fan? Oh no. Another idea we should be open to is that he is not any sort of alien at all. We can't dismiss the possibility that he's from the future or the depths of the earth or has merely acquired superpowers. Oh, I will research the various possibilities before our next session. Next session? A problem of this nature takes time to resolve. Mrs. Desmond, if you don't mind, I'd like you to write in this notebook whatever you can remember about the times you've thought he was reading your mind and how that made you feel. For now, we'll get you through a medical examination and prescribe a few light medications. Once we can stabilize your physical symptoms, we'll go from there. So, you think that I'm sick? As I said before, what I think is that you're suffering, and I intend to support your recovery with all that I'm capable of. I think this is the right thing. What he's doing, what I think he is doing is right, because once the physical symptoms are calmed down, she'll be able to think clearly. And if she's able to think clearly, she'll realize it. She'll start thinking, okay, so she obviously knows something is wrong, but if she's thinking clearly, she can start moving and start planning on her next move. You know what I mean? Anyways, let's keep going. Both for your sake and your family's. I hope to see you back for another session next week. In the meantime, if the medications don't agree with you or anything else troubles you, I'll be available. I wonder if I pushed a little too hard. You know, there's no way Donovan would ever come here. Donovan, who's been replaced by an alien. From what I heard from her chaperone, I don't get the sense that she's deliberately lying. It's probably best to see her examination results before we dig too deeply. Welcome home, Lloyd. I hope you had a good day at work. I'll make some tea. Thank you, Yor. Because of you, I'm now in direct contact with Melinda. Papa was doing mission stuff. But this idea of reading other people's minds, no way could anyone actually do that. If an ability like that truly existed, it would bring down every intelligence agency of the world. I can. Ooh. Donovan Desmond, the more I learn about him, the less I understand. The evil super boss has the same superpower that I do? For real? Ooh, surprisingly have something in common? I'm telling you, this is the start of where shit is going to hit the fan. I don't think... If Donovan can read minds, like, I'm starting to think, especially based on what was said in the flashback, and also the timing of when shit started going down, of when shit started going downhill. She said it was around the time either between her first or second son was born. I just have a feeling that that it does involve Anya, for one thing. And also, it does kind of... Just think about it, okay? Remember the experimentations that were happening on the dogs, too, okay? I gotta wonder if this was all in relation to Donovan's power. Right? So, But it all ties into what he said. I'm gonna read this again, because I really can't stress how important this is. Is this right here, this part here. We will never be free of war. History is clear proof of that. But what if we purged all weapons from the world? Even then, no, because in the end, human beings are simply liars. We'd ask what if other nations have kept some weapons in secret, and so long as that doubt persisted, history would be doomed to repeat itself. We can never know the true intentions of others unless you're able to read their minds, right? Because we ourselves are hiding our true intentions. Again, this is why reading people's minds are kind of important. And I think back to when they were eating dinner, and he was, the question is, was he reading people's thoughts, or was he just reading like people's emotions? Because you saw more like auras than mind reading, at least from what I remember. Of course, I desire peace as much as anyone, and I know that solving differences with dialogue instead of weapons is ideal, but warring like this is the best we humans are capable of, unless you're able to read minds. Even if there were resources left over, even if there were governmental reform or technological innovation, I can't imagine an end to war. It's very interesting, isn't it? Right? But I'm very curious what you guys think. But oh, there's also this as well from Donovan. I almost forgot this. I think is this. It's this dialogue with Henderson and Donovan, and this is after Henderson came out of jail. Excuse me for saying so, but you're a fool, and one shouldn't expect anything of those who in their foolishness have disappointed you once already. And then Henderson says to him, "That's a preposterous way to live, don't you think, Mr. Desmond? If we gave up on everyone and everything so quickly, that would be the end of human history, and I, for one, would be out of a job." "Well, I wouldn't want that. I always enjoy your lectures, Mr. Henderson." I wonder if this is a good question. I wonder if this simple conversation with Henderson was kind of like the trigger between that and what he said in that debate, kind of pushed Donovan to go this far in terms of like experimentation and shit. I really, really do. In a way, I really do. But, or no, not that. I wonder if this, let me rephrase this. I wonder if this conversation is more so in relation to what we saw with Damien and that light surrounding Damien. I wonder if this conversation is more so in relation to that and to that hope. And like that is Donovan and Damien more so is like symbolic of Donovan not giving up on humanity. I'm very curious what you guys think, and as I keep saying, those flashbacks are going to come into play. They come into play every time. But what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about Henderson? Why Henderson has completely lost it is because he has the ability to read minds. I think it makes sense. It does make sense. It fits with everything. It fits with especially with the timeline, especially with Anya being able to read minds. Now the question is how and obviously the why makes sense, but I mean, even like how Donovan lost his goddamn mind, well, it's kind of obvious. But the other thing, because if you were able to read minds and you realize that like everyone around you is basically a fucking liar and betrayed you, even your closest friends, hell, even your wife is kind of betrayed you in a way. Yeah, it does make sense. And Damien is the family's hope at this point, that light that hasn't been corrupted. So yeah, everything totally fits, right? So I'm very, very curious what you guys think about this. I think it's goddamn brilliant how everything is connected like this. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, what you guys think. And remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. Love what we're doing and want to help keep this operation alive and kicking so we can keep bringing you more Spy Family content. If you wish you could do that, donate to our Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, purchase something off our Amazon wishlist, all that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, friend us on PlayStation Network, that's in the description box below as well. Till next time, Nerdigans, I will be seeing you later. Bye!